All right. Positive energy all the time. What's popping? Hope y'all doing well. Rep your city, rep your city. There's a lot going on out here in the world. And today, I'm not really talking about no specific subject. I'm just pretty much just gonna have a personal conversation tonight about what I feel is going on. I feel like I'm surrounded by demons. I'm gonna talk about that. New York is in the building. My brother Goshen, Shalom, is in the building. Richmond, California is in the building. Oakland, California is in the building. Fresno, California is here. Yeah, I feel like I'm surrounded by demons. And I'm feeling a little bit isolated and out of tune. And if it wasn't for so many people my age hanging out and doing stuff, I wouldn't trip. I would feel like, well, it's my age, but it's not my age because there's a lot of people my age, and they're all moving around, they're socializing, they're moving. Me, I've become very isolated. It's been happening over the years. So I'm going to talk about it. I don't really like too much of nothing. So we're going to talk about it. I don't like anything. And it's really strange. It seems to me to be a little to me, it seems like it's massive brainwashing going on. To me. When you look at the people, they don't have much choices in activities. If you look at people, like let's start with America. If you look at people in America and what they do for entertainment, you can pretty much count it on one hand. It's very limited. A lot of it is different versions of the same thing. It looks like zombies, basically. It looks like zombies. It looks like the workforce is programming, and then the days you get off work are a continuation of that programming. So they pretty much know you're going to come to work and then you're going to go do this. And you're just in a box, and that's just it. They have mankind. We just take America. They have humans in America in a box. And they are telling them what's fun. They're being programmed to what's fun. to what living life, when they say I got to live my life, but it's been programmed. No, I don't think it's because I know the truth. I just think, I mean, to know the truth is weird. No, I just think I can see it. I don't think it's so much knowing the truth. I just can see it. You can see it. A lot of people are unenthused. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people you don't see anymore. Pre-pandemic, yeah, it's been obvious now for years. For years, I've been looking at the choices of fun, and for years it has been corny. All you got to do is think about it. All you got to do is think yourself, what do you go do for entertainment? When you get off work, how do you have a good time? And if you think about it, you do the same shit. Like, that's what you do. Weekend after weekend. It's like doop, 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 doop. It's like, oh, it's basketball season. Oh, it's football season. Yeah, okay, it's back baseball season. Basketball. Football. Look at the men. They go from one sport to the other. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It becomes a part of your whole conversation. Man, the Knicks gonna do this, man. And it's cool like 1 year. It's cool 10 years. It's cool 20 years. But when you start looking at this 40 and 50 years, and you start seeing generations coming, stuck in that same rut, you see no expansion, you see no type of motivation, you see businesses closing, you see violence increasing, you see people getting fatter and sicker. So if you're from my position and you see a party of a lot of people that's in shape, and now you look at a party and they're sick, there are a lot of women overweight, a lot of men at the party overweight, big old stomachs, unhealthy, after decades and decades, you see no progression, you see no intelligence, you see no type of positive movement for anything better. You see full uh, power given to the government. You don't see the people want anything. The people don't want anything. The people spend all their energy over arguing who's going to be president, and that's it. They don't spend any energy themselves trying to make any changes. They spend all their energy arguing who's going to make the changes. And then once that person get in there, they leave it off. Trump's going to do it. Biden's going to do it. And then that's it. And it's over until next time the system tell them, okay, it's time again to talk about politics. They go, oh, yeah. Look at the reparations movement. Dead. it won't come alive until campaign season. 3 years from now. It'll be 3 years from now before the reparations becomes a big topic again. And it'll be all around which one gonna give us reparations. And they'll talk about this one. And then the election happened, and it'll be just like now. Quiet. Reparations was talked about more during the presidential campaign than it is now. I challenge anybody to tell me I'm lying. Was not reparations talked about more when Biden and Harris and Trump was that fiasco than it is now? What y'all think? Because to me, the reparations talk is at least 80% down from what it was. If I judged everybody and judged the reparation conversation during the election, I would say out of all the people, I would say that the reparations conversation was up at least 70%. And now the reparations conversation is what, 15%? The reparations conversation is 15%. It was 70%, probably 65 or 70% during the election. Now it's 15%. It's down to 15%. I don't think it's to gain a black vote. I believe it's brainwashing. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying it's. I don't believe it's to gain nothing. I believe it's all just programming. Because how could it be to gain the black votes when the politicians ain't the one talking about it? I didn't say the politicians talked about listen, what's your name? Highly favored. For it to be to gain the black vote, the politicians we be talking about. The politicians never talk about it. So you misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm saying the people was talking about reparations, not the politicians. So how could the people talk about reparations to gain the black votes when the people not running for office? And you're incorrect. I know you're trying to figure out as I go, but sometimes that gets a little annoying, especially when you miss the mark. That's not what I'm saying at all. Reparations was not a conversation to gain the black vote because the people that was looking for the votes never talked about reparations. Like I said, reparations was a 75% conversation. That excludes the politicians. The politicians did not talk about reparations at all. Biden didn't talk about reparations. Harris didn't talk about reparations. And Trump didn't talk about reparations. So how could it be to get the vote when the people that wanted to vote never talk about reparations? Ever. Not that I've seen, unless I missed something. I'm talking about the people were talking about reparations. People like myself, not politicians. I did not say politicians. So it wasn't to gain votes. How could the voters gain votes? That's not what I said. Please don't y'all derail my conversations. Okay? I'm talking about the programming that the people will talk about reparations. The people, not the politicians. Again, just like programming. When the election comes, the people will start talking about it. And then once the election happens, the people won't talk about it anymore. Because it was the people that was doing the talking. It wasn't the politicians. It was the people. But the people ain't mentioning it anymore. What's going on, Black Currency? And so it gets to the point where you look at the state of the union and you look at the state of the people, and you don't see the people making no type of efforts to deal with their situation. And it's like they go to work, and then when they get off work, they try to have a good time. Now, there's problems. So it's safe to say you go to work and you accept the problems and you go play and you accept the problems. You accept the high prices. You accept all this stuff because in the eyes of the system, if I'm robbing you and I see you out dancing and kikiing and kakaing, you telling me I could keep robbing you. You think about it. We work hard. You have to work 5 days a week, but you also have to make sure people treat you right. So if you work 5 days a week and then 2 days a week playing, where is the effort to get people to treat you right? You don't have one. And then your entertainment is demonic, basically. It's unhealthy. It's anti-family. It throws away money. Your social life is the life of zombies, basically. It's zombies. When I look at your social activity, it's like being surrounded by demons. You're like zombies. Like you're under hypnosis. To me, I don't see no hope. I don't see no hope for you as a people in this country, black, white, whatever. The whole world, basically. But I'm in the United States, so I could see the United States. The United States is a country full of zombies. There's no creativity, no nothing. It's like a bunch of dogs that's fighting over who get the best treat from the master. And they use your cars and your clothes and your jewelry and your vacations is what you be having to show for. It'd be crazy what you be trying to show for the sacrifice of your life. And it's like they control you. They say, oh, you know what? Y'all could go on cruises, and then everybody goes on a cruise. And then everybody like, yeah, I went on a cruise. And then that's it. It's like zombies. I'm gonna go on a cruise. I'm gonna go on a cruise, and everybody just go to the cruise and dance around. And then I'll say, well, you gotta enjoy your life, and they dictate what enjoy your life means. You don't even get to decide what enjoy your life means. You have to fit your enjoyment into a program. They say, okay, zombies, this is work, and here's your available enjoyment. And so you go in that circle and you enjoy it based on them providing you your enjoyment. So let's say I'm dating a zombie lady. The only way I could please her is to take her into her mindset of enjoyment. So I have to take her on a cruise with the rest of the zombies. I have to take her to where the rest of the zombies say, this is fun. And if I don't take her to that, she will feel like she's not having as much fun as the zombies. She wants somebody going to take her where the other zombies going to take the zombie ladies. So where the zombie men take the zombie ladies, set the standard of where I got to take a lady. I got to take her to the zombie fest, basically. I'm just telling you how I see it. This is how I see it. It's all programmed. Even when you get away from the job, you're still working for them. You never get away from Dracula. Dracula controls you. Dracula says, come to work. You go to work. Dracula says, go play, go buy my liquor and go to these places here. You go, I had a good time. Yeah, I enjoyed myself. So, if I got a queen now at my age, I got an older lady, I got to take her to go see Stephanie Mills sing that same shit. And that's a great time. And she's going to be out there. Singing some shit she was singing when she was younger. I'm there like, I got to play it off. But I got to keep it real. So I'm not going to be like these weirdo dudes out there with their wife. So mine is feel like I don't love her because I ain't out here like a buster. I'm not bustering like that. So I'm not going to fit in because, it's cool she's singing. It's cool you outside if you're enjoying yourself. Well, I got it. You know what I'm saying? This shit, I don't want to see these old ass ladies sing some shit that I've been listening to since I was a teenager, 20 years old. The hell I want to hear that shit for? I'm almost 70. I want to hear the same song for 50, 60 years, and I'm supposed to dance around like it's a new song? Really? I'm supposed to sing along with this shit that been out years ago? And this is to get away from work? This is what I'm doing to get away from work? It's coming, spending money and standing around in here like this and then go back to work? No changes in social activity, no betterment for the community, no activism for the community. Just accept everything and work and play and work and play. And the system can do whatever it wants to you. If that's not a zombie, what is? And then every now and then you want to get on the internet and complain about something you don't know, you don't really care about it. You don't care. You complain about it on your work day. Hold on, we're going to continue. On your work day, you complain. Think about it. Make sure you go and subscribe to Pharaoh Said That Live. You ever go visit relatives and you got the uncle or the granddad and he's just always sitting at home and he's never really getting excited. He doesn't show up to none of the events or nothing too much. That's why. He's seen that over and over and over and over. And there's nothing really thrill him with what you're doing. So he's just chilling. He's not coming to no family of functions or nothing like that because it's uninteresting and it's not really what you say it is. It's a make believe event. It's a result from being a slave. You gotta find something to do because you're a slave, you're a zombie, and you're a slave. So you gotta find something to do to offset the slavery. Basically, you work, they pay you, and then they provide where you go spend your money. Think about it. The same people that you work for provide what you do with the money they pay you. So now the money they pay you, you go spend it what's provided, which is very little. Like in my generation here in Chicago, most of the brothers and sisters, they want to go to the Steppers Club. Now, when you go to the Steppers parties, it's a bunch of dudes there dressed up, dancing around, spinning around, and they running through these ladies. So these ladies that come to the Steppers parties, these men been slept with how many ladies at the Steppers party? And so even if I go with my woman, my wife to the Steppers party, a man would come ask me, is it all right? And want to dance with my wife. I want to spin around with my wife. And all the songs is about cheating. Some of them are about love, but all the songs is, that you still belong to someone else. I wish I never met her. And you married and you dance to a song talking about she belongs to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Totally demoralized. You know what I'm saying? Total demoralizing situation. You say most men never held each other accountable. When? At work? Look, you say most men never held each other accountable. When? When is that going to happen? At work? If me and you are friends and you work for the post office and I work for drive a bus, when am I going to see you to hold you accountable? When we both got to go to work and go home to our wives. Ain't no, ain't no man gonna leave out his house and go to the neighbor next door try to hold him accountable. Everybody's a zombies. Everybody's off to themselves. I mean, that's make believe poison ivy, but I guess so. So you really think if me and my wife get into it and I did something physical to my wife, you really believe you could say something to me? You really believe you can hold me accountable? I mean, if you're gonna come over here and type something realistic. Don't type no make believe stuff. All right. The effort to want to sound intelligent. Make sure it's really intelligent. Because you kind of trolling and you kind of irritate me too. When I see people and they typing back to back to back, I don't really trust your opinion because the way you're typing back to back to back, you're just trolling for attention. So nothing you say, can I look at it? Yeah, yeah, you're trolling. Come back tomorrow. Yeah, come back tomorrow. Nobody want to hear all that and read all that, bro. Go write a book since you like to type so much. Go get on your go get on your keyboard and type a book. After doing this a while, I could spot a troll early. They try to get into the conversation, but when you watch them, it's just da 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 da. It's a whole bunch of nonsense for a long time, all the way up and down the chat, not adding anything intelligent, important, just whatever they blurt out their mind. But we're not doing that. I don't believe nothing you typing. I don't. Everything you said is fake. Okay, your name is Poison, and that shows how much knowledge you got. How much knowledge you got when you name yourself Poison? So you have no knowledge because you named yourself something dark. Okay, why would I listen to Poison? Make it make some sense. Yeah, you done. All right. I'm not listening to all that weirdo stuff, bro. And so I just wanted to talk about this because my situation when I look, you know what I'm saying? Out. I look at my children. My children don't have anything to do. If my children have nothing to do at all, sometimes when I think when I left here and I went to California, I went to Hawaii, and when I come back and I meet some of my friends, they was really fascinated that I left and went to Hawaii and California. But after a while, I started realizing why it's so fascinating because the whole time they just been here doing the same thing for years, 40 years, 50 years, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. All those years, all those years when I was experiencing all these different ways of living and living in the mountains and doing, they just been going to their job and doing the same thing, go to work, and they do that. They do that like till they retire. And you think about what that does to the soul to go to work from 20 to 60, 40 years. And there's not much you can do after when you got to do that. So you're already limited because you got to be at work. And this is why I got out the workforce. I wasn't willing to get what they were getting working because what they never wasn't getting anything. Imagine going to a job and working for 45 years. And imagine you got to go to this job every day, 8 hours plus an hour or two transportation, 10 hours every day. And you make some money, you buy a house from your job. But You have to leave that house 5 days a week. You have to be away from that house for 10 hours. The house is just sitting there because you're going to work to pay for the house. So you're not really in the house, enjoying the house, because you have to spend most of your day going to get the money to pay for the house. So when you look back at how much time you got to be at home by the time you retire, when you were in the prime of your life, your house sat there many hours. Because if you work a 40-hour week and you spending 10 hours on transportation, that's 50 hours a week. You're not even home. Because you're spending 5 hours to get to work a week and 5 hours to get home a week and 10 hours away from home. That's not including going to get your food and everything you got to get. You got to be out in the streets for that too. So you got to run the streets to get what you need in the home to enjoy the home. Then you got to go do some type of entertainment because shoot, you then gave 10 hours a week. No, you then gave 50 hours a week away to the job. Because you're giving away 10 hours a day. So you're giving 50 hours a week away. And you have to figure out how you can do that to retirement. So you try to expand it to free your mind of this horrible cycle. And you try to prove to yourself you're not a zombie because you start saying stuff like, yeah, me and my wife, we went to the Bahamas. You're trying to find some type of way to make it all worth it. Yeah, they want you to cut your hair. They want you to walk like them, talk like them. They want you to cut your hair for 8 hours a day and not have your hair the way you want it for 16 hours a day. So they want you to look the way they want you to look for 24 hours a day, but they only pay you for 8 hours a day. They wanted me to cut my dreadlocks for 24 hours a day to work for them for 8 hours a day. And I'm telling them I can't glue my dreadlocks back on when I get off work. So y'all talking crazy. You want to own me every day, but only pay me for 8 hours. You want to pay me 40 hours a week, but you want to own me for 24 hours times 7. Because 24 hours times 4, that's almost 100 hours. So that's like 175 hours that you want to own me every week. Even when I'm on vacation, I can't get my dreads back, but you only pay me for 8 hours. Now, if that's not a zombie, you tell me what is. And now I got to force some type of entertainment to make this all worthwhile. I got to force something. I got to get a really nice car. I got to get a really nice house. I got to do something to make this look like it's worth it. This is why you feel so good in that new car, because you were a slave for it. And basically, that's why you like talking about your house. That's why you like to have guests over to see what they call it, accomplished. You have to feel like you're accomplishing something. And people will say, well, yeah, I'm accomplishing something for the family, who has to do the same thing. And then when you're in a society where the society is zombies, the only way you can make money, you have to have a zombie uh, type situation too, because the only money you can make is from zombies. So you're surrounded by zombies. So you got to try to figure out how to make your money in a zombie society. You're like surrounded by demons, basically. And then as long as the society is sustaining, you can't tell they demons. But soon as the jobs start running out or anything go wrong, the smashing and grabbing and the looting is going. Everybody gonna turn into what they really are. They've only to maintain not to be so demonic because some money is coming in. But when the bottom falls out, everybody shows you what they really are. Because you have riots, and smash and grabs, and looting, and look how they busting everybody's window and everybody's cars in the Bay Area in Atlanta. Just go and bust windows on every car on both sides of the street. So it's getting to the point that even though you playing the game, you still being punished by people that can't play the game. So you got to have all these alarms on your house. You got to really watch where you go. You got to make sure nobody can't break in your garage. You got to always be worried about getting robbed. So now you got to go to only certain areas that you consider safe. And you got to do this constantly. You ever been in a relationship with a woman? I'm talking to the men. And it's a new relationship. And so, boom, you take her here. Then you take her there. Then you take her there. And she's just loving it. But after a couple of years, you done took her everywhere. So now it's getting hard to get that sensation from her. Because where you going to take her? The first time you took her here, there was a sensation. Then the first time you took her here, there was a sensation. But there's only so many places to take her, right? So there's only so many places to take her. And it's only been 24 months and you done ran out of places to take her. But now you got to be married to her forever, supposedly. Now, how are you going to keep that same feeling? So after a while, she's going to be like, well, it ain't the same. You don't treat me the same. The feeling ain't the same. Because she don't understand that you can't give her that feeling. The only way she can get a feeling is to go out with another stranger and go through this strange feeling. And that stranger might take her to one or two different places and she'll begin to feel somewhat like it's new, but after a while, that stranger gonna have to take her to the same place you took her, and so that's why a lot of these women later they be regretting they got out of their original marriage. You know what I'm saying? They end up regretting it because they end up going to the same situation or worse. They don't go to no better situation most times, depending on how bad that person was. Now, in some cases, they can go to a better situation if you was horrible. But if you was basic, trying to do your best, all you're going to do is go to somebody else trying to do their best. Then you can only do what you could do. And you're just going to still end up getting bored. And you're going to still end up chasing excitement, looking for something that's so fantastic. And so now we've gotten to the point where they can't find anything fantastic. So what do the zombies do? Since they can't find nowhere fantastic to go, They video it and try to make it fantastic on their social media. They try to show you how fantastic it is. You ever watch a bunch of women go on a trip on Instagram? And you ever see when girls is out together and they film each other, hey, and you ever notice how they faking that they having fun? You ever look in their faces, how they pump themselves up for the video? But you can see it ain't what they, it's not what they're portraying to you. And posting this to you is making them feel like they did something by posting it, so that you can say, oh, yeah, y'all, you living your best life, so they can feel like, yeah, because the actual trip don't do that for them. You ever notice that? It be looking phony, like fake fun. It don't be looking like no real fun like that. It look like you have faced the fact you're doing the same thing every day. You got to go to work like slave, and you're just trying to get away from the slave plantation, and you're just trying to enjoy the fact you got away from the slave plantation, and that's basically all it's about. But it's not about really enjoying where you at. It's about enjoying the fact you ain't at the slave plantation, which is exactly what it is. Because anytime you're in a situation where you already owe so much rent, and you already owe so much light bill, and you already own a phone bill, like, okay, I got a phone, right? And I'm 67. So let's say I live to 100, 77, 87, 90, 33 years. That means I got a phone bill for 33 years. For 33 years, I got a phone bill. For 33 more years. For 33 more years, I got a electric bill. I got to have some type of electric. For 33 years, I got bills. I still owe money for 33 years before I even get there. I owe a phone bill 30 years from now. Next year, I owe a phone bill already. I'm in debt already. I owe my future, I owe already. Have you ever thought about that? That you owe money for the rest of your life? Let that just sink in. You owe money for the rest of your life. Think about that. For the rest of your life, you owe money. And so if that's going on and you ain't thinking about it, you a zombie. Basically. So now when you realize this, your life becomes very strange. You know what I'm saying? Once you come to that realization, your life becomes strange. Because there's very few people you're going to meet going to be on what you own, and they're going to be looking at you crazy, and they're going to want you to be in the matrix. You know? And when you're not in the matrix, they're going to feel like you don't know how to enjoy yourself because you won't go with the prefabricated enjoyment. because the enjoyment is given to them. They are not enjoying themselves. They are enjoying what the Babylon system let them enjoy. So anytime you enjoying what the system let you enjoy, how can you say you enjoying yourself when yourself haven't determined what you can do for enjoyment? You're not picking your enjoyment. You're picking enjoyment out of what is available to you here. This is why the movie theaters all closed, because that used to be enjoyment they gave you, and you finally said, "The hell with that! I ain't going in there." The people said, "How many years you want me to go to this movie theater and eat this nasty popcorn and stuff? This ain't gonna get it." So movie theaters are out of business. Nobody goes to the movie. Over the last 3 years, they've been trying to drop a big movie to try to see if they can get you to go. Everybody wanted me to go see that movie, The Black Dudes. I'm not going in a movie theater to see that because I'm not going to enjoy the movie because I'm not going to enjoy the movie theater. As soon as I walk in the movie theater, it's depressing. When I go to the movie theater and go to the counter, it look like robots. It's robots. Look, it's the same. Look at this, the same food, the same popcorn. None of this stuff, all of this stuff is trash. All this stuff is totally unhealthy. And you're trying to charge me $8 for some candy that costs $1.15. I went to the movies with my daughter and her mom. And me and her mom, we ain't even together, but my daughter just wanted us to go. It was weird. A water cost $7. A bottle of water like this was $7. I had to buy the water because there wasn't nothing else for you to drink if you're healthy. The movie was trash. It was just a whole lot of money thrown away. There was nobody in the movie theater but like 10 of us at one of these big theaters with the beautiful seats, and there was nobody. And it had a whole bunch of movies, and nobody was in none of the rooms, to the point where you could have left there at that movie and walked across and sat down and watched another movie. You could watch every movie in there. Nobody would care because nobody's there. So if you go early in the day, you can go see 4 movies. Nobody Nobody cares. There's nobody in there. So there's no reason to ask you to leave. There's nobody in not one of the theaters. All the theaters got 8 people in them. Big, giant, beautiful theater. You paid all this money for parking, time out your day, and it's all a failure. That's why when that black movie just came out, everybody asked me, was I going to go see it? I'm like, no, I'm not going to go see it. I want to see the movie, but I don't want to go to the movie theater. I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go in the movie theater to see that. The movie theater is for is like being under hypnosis. How long we doing that? They've never said, let's upgrade what we feeding these people. Maybe they don't want this popcorn at this price. Maybe we bring the prices down. Maybe we get some different snacks and stuff. No. They doing contracts with whatever candy companies that is and popcorn companies, and they're gonna keep it the same forever. It's just like your life sucks. You still going in there doing this? For somebody like me to start going to the movies by herself at 8, 9 years old, for you to think I'm gonna get excited about the movies today and go in there, it's like a horror picture where Dracula says, "Come here," and people are just go to the movies. Oh, go to the festival. Oh, It's the most craziest thing. They have a thing here called Vegan Day, where they come once a year and they have this big vegan festival. It's the worst. You go in there, then you got to stand these long lines to get this food. It's all processed. It might as well just be meat and stuff. And they can't put the food out quick enough for it to be fresh. It's by the time you get up there in line, and they got somebody on stage, and then you just like walking around. You end up spending a lot of money, but you do not get the food and the entertainment that you should get for the type of money it's costing you for parking and all of this. And so basically, you're just paying really just to be outside when you don't have to go to the slave camp. Basically, it's something to do because you off work. That's basically what it amounts to. Of taking advantage of you because you got to go to work every day. It's the weekend and you off. So come to this shit. And you basically give them some of the money that you just sat and slaved for, like a zombie, and then you give it to them. And you say you had a good time. But it really don't be no good time. Not really. You could have had a better time at home playing pickup sticks or dominoes or beer whist or something. Would have been way more fun. Way, way, way more fun than that. It'd be dry. And if it's a date and you're a man, you got to pretend it's the greatest thing ever. People just want to get out the house. You know what I'm saying? Well, people just want to get out the house. So it's just like, when you go outside in these cities, it's like you're surrounded by zombies, It's like, I'm going to the club. This one, I'm going to the movie theater. This one, I'm going to dinner. That'd be crazy. Nothing's different. Everything's the same. They want you to find a different version of the same thing every weekend. It's up to you. Find a different version of the same thing. All across this country, men are struggling trying to come up with a unique date. And it's only going to be unique based on this a new relationship. Basically. Little do she know this way you take everybody for a date. Eventually. You're taking her to the same place. You have to take, how many places do you have to choose from to go on the date, to build something? And if you work 5 days a week and you try to enjoy yourself 2 days a week, that ensures that you will never build anything to work for yourself because it's setting up for you to get the money and give the money, get the money, get the money. So they're like, okay, come work for us. We're going to pay you and then go give it back to the system and then come back to work and we'll pay you and then go give it back. Then we'll pay you, then go give it, then we'll pay you and then go give it. Come home from work, eat your bad food, your meat and all that. Come back to work. Yeah, me and my wife, we went to Bobo Fest. Yeah, it was Bobo Fest. It was nice, they had muddy waters and BB King was there. BB King was there. It was good, man. I enjoyed myself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you do enjoy yourself because of the depression of work. So you're forcing yourself to have a good time, to contrast with the fact you got to go to work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and be in traffic. So you're forcing some type of enjoyment based off of your zombie slavery. Basically, you be with your woman and you ever see how Friday, how she want to start, trying to figure out. She want to go get her nails done. She want to go do everything to do to go out and run the streets and give some of that money back because of working 5 days a week. If she don't work and you're the provider, same thing. She been stuck in the house. She ready for you to do something. You been working. You ready to do something, but there's nothing to do. You're not creating anything to do. So you're dependent on the powers that be to provide something for you to do. All of these people in cahoots, your job and all these people, they part of the system with the money. So basically, you're going to get the money to give it back to the same system you got it from and not creating nothing new for yourself to do. And it's just zombies. And you tried to push that zombie, and that zombie was something new. It was something that when people migrated from the South, black people got into that zombie way of life. They pushed it to like my generation, then the next generation. And now you got young people, they ain't want to be zombies no more. They want to be real monsters. So now they're monsters. They've already realized that that stuff you want to do is trash. They become violent and unruly, and they get to a point they just want to destroy everything because they can see that what you want them to do is not it. You don't want them in the streets. You don't want them gangbanging. You don't want them committing all this violence. But what you have to offer them is nothing but zombie slavery. So they are stuck between a rock and a hard place. They either become a zombie slave like you, or they go out there and wild out. They choose to go wild out because what you've created is not appealing. Who wants to do that? You understand? Think about it. It's a never ending cycle of just slavery and the zombie. It's 365 days in a year. How can we find something to do every weekend out of 52 weeks? How? You resent your home because you punish your home because of your job. And you leave your home and go to the job, and then you leave the job and come home. So you saying you don't want to be stuck in the house, but you ain't been stuck in the house. You've been stuck at the job. But because you leave the job and come home, it gives you the impression that you stuck in the house. You don't have to tell women, what you mean you stuck in the house? You ain't been home all week. You've been at work. So what you mean stuck in the house? It's the brainwashing. Did you never say you stuck at work? You never say, I don't want to be stuck at the job. But that's where you be all day, 5 days a week. By the time you get home, you got to get some clothes from work tomorrow, watch TV for 2 or 3 hours, and go to bed. So how you stuck at the house? You never get to enjoy the house, ever. You don't enjoy the house. You're always at work. You're always in transportation back and forth to work and sleep with just a couple of hours to eat and maybe watch TV or have sex or something. That's it. That's just a few hours. And when the weekend comes, you don't want to be home. You want to run around and then go back to work and do the same thing. The psychological is like a zombie, like they have you psychologically totally brainwashed to the point where you're never at home all week, but for a couple hours and sleep. And when you get off, you don't want to be at home. But the most money you spending is for your home. And you spend all this money for rent or for mortgage, and you do not want to be at home. Imagine not want to be at home when you already not at home. You already going every day to work. You're spending less time at home than you spending in the streets to go to the store to get food, to get clothes ready, to get yourself ready, and back and forth to work. You spending all these hours in the, you know what I'm saying? Very few hours at home. So I get with you. I see this. We a couple. And you mad at me because I don't want to go nowhere Saturday. I don't want to go nowhere Sunday. So you want to get you don't want to be in a relationship with me. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be with me because I'm ready to sit down and stay at home. Home, I'm ready to enjoy home and chill. You want to run around again. And that's why Monday you be so stressed because you never rested. You ran around on your off days trying to enjoy yourself and then went right back to work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's the same thing. It's got to be the same thing because there's nothing to change to. Even if you know, like me, there's nothing. There is no change. What? There's no change. There's very little I could do different. Out of a whole year, I might could be able to find 5 things different. But if I keep doing them, that's gonna still be the same thing. I can't find nothing different to do because I live in a society that do the same thing over and over again. So when you live in a society that do the same thing over and over again, they don't create nothing else to do. That's it. You got to do what everybody else is doing. There is nothing else. Don't exist because you're surrounded by zombies. You're surrounded by demons. There is no alternative. That's not provided because everybody you live around doing the same old thing. There is no alternative mind to create alternative things to do. There is no alternative. You in the matrix. What alternative? There ain't even no local bands or nothing. They got rid of all of that. There ain't no local bands. There is nothing. There is nothing but what's been created to do over and over again. Basically, like you come to Chicago, they got the boat cruise, the architecture boat cruise. And that's something that you would do that'd be a little bit different. But go get on the boat cruise and see how many people getting on there. You know why so many people on the boat cruise? Because they all looking for something different. And if they all looking for something different and thousands of people take the boat cruise, then that's not really different. That's something you're gonna do one time. You live for years and years. Okay, what you gonna do next week? Okay, if you go to the boat cruise, you go to our museum, you go to the escape spot they got where you can practice escaping. I can name 10 things. Okay, out of 52 weeks, what you gonna do the other 42 weeks? What you gonna do next year? Because you went to those things. It ain't nothing else. You went to everything that was alternative already. You can go to you can get in a relationship and if you get rid of the basic things to do. In 2 years you could have been and did all the stuff you could make up to do, and then that's it. It ain't that many alternatives because everybody's a zombie and they ain't create nothing. They ain't create nothing new to do. That's why a lot of people, the only thing they could do to keep their mind free is exercise. They go bike riding and stuff to stay in shape. Other than that, if they couldn't program their mind that we're gonna go bike riding, we're gonna go jogging to stay in shape, if it wasn't for that, it wouldn't be nothing to do but the same old shit. There was nothing to do from 20 to 65 years old in this Babylon system. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I challenge anybody to show me what you're gonna do from 20 to 45 years of your life as an adult working. Show me what you're gonna do in this system. Nothing. Same shit. Different toilet. I'm saying? That's why you gotta drink. That's why you gotta do drugs. That's why you gotta have all kind of weirdo sex. You gotta try to figure out something, trying to create something. That's why marriages is failing, because you don't get into the marriage based on the fact that ain't nothing to do. You'd have a great marriage. You get into marriage thinking it's gonna be a whirlwind relationship and you're gonna be doing all this stuff. And then when you don't, you become bored with each other. Once you realize the reality, now you're ready to look for somebody else. Hopefully they can spark some type of excitement. You're gonna be back in the same position you in. Because you ain't supposed to let nobody work you that hard that many days to survive. That's a loser concept in the door. Seriously. If you got people got to work 5 days a week, you're going to have drug abuse and alcoholism. How couldn't you? When you got slaves like that. You would have to give people 3 days a week off to be able to offset that. You can't have people just work every day except Saturday and Sunday. That's a rat race. That's not enough time to be off. It's enough time to be off when you first get the job, but year after year after year, and 7 days a week, and you got to spend 5 of them at work, that ain't going to get it. So that's all I wanted to talk about. Y'all think about it. You know what I'm saying? The bottom's going to fall out of this society. The youth are going to be rioting and tearing stuff up and smashing grabs. There's no way to avoid them doing that. When they grow up and they see their options, they ain't gonna, man. If you think these young people gonna grow up and you think they're gonna be an economic slave for this system, you crazy. Real talk. So listen, I hope y'all enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? This the world we live in. You just can't see it. It's dark. It's gloomy. It's like living in a slave camp. All you could do is try to eat better and try to free your mind so your ass will follow. Other than that, you're going to be stuck trying to chase something that's not there. This world have to be tore down and re-put together in a way that makes some sense. You can't have no world like this and think it's going to go somewhere. This world not going to go nowhere like this. This a Luciferian satanic world. You feel me? Real talk. They got me surrounded. They got me surrounded with demons. They're on both sides of me. You feel me? So positive energy all the time. Y'all stay positive and try to work through all of this. You feel me? And remember, space is the place.